call is now being recorded.
All right, this is Brent Forster at TopVelocity.net, and got a special guest on the line. Cage, I don't even know your last name. I always call it by that first. Cascone?
Cascone, yeah.
Cool. Well, you know, you've been with the program for a while. Came through camp a while back, and, you know, reached out to you because I followed you. You've been pretty active on the forums and followed you through your training, and didn't want to try to, you know, stop you as opposed to, you know, where you are, you know, kind of glorify what you've done so far, because I think you still can go even farther. But I just wanted to get this interview with you. I thought it'd be a good time. So let's talk about when you first came to that camp. How long ago was that? Do you remember when you came?
Yeah, that was July 2012.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was back when I had the old place. You haven't seen the new place, have you?
No.
Yeah, the new place is really cool, man. We bumped it up to about almost 10,000 square feet, 8 to 10, because we got some packs, locker room areas and stuff. But I still have the old place. Haven't gotten rid of the dungeon, and that's just all weights now. So that's where we do all the weight training. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
But yeah, if you ever want to come down and do some 3X training, man, I want you to come see the new place.
Okay.
So let's talk. So you found that camp. What were you looking for? Like before you came down to camp, and before you even found me, TopVelocity.net. What was making you look for this kind of information?
Well, in high school, I was around 83 to 85, and to be honest with you, I'm not even really sure how I threw that far, because I was not a very strong athlete. But I got to college, and I got hit around a little bit in the fall, and I was clearly not quite, my stuff wasn't quite good enough to pitch these hitters. So my coaches kind of had me lower my arm slot so I could get more movement. And I ended up getting, like, I always had kind of a sore arm with that new low arm slot, and I just had a lot more movement, and I was a lot more effective in hitters, but my velocity slid down to, like, high 70s, low 80s. And I wasn't really satisfied with that at all. I always wanted to be a guy who threw, like, upper 80s, lower 90s. So I just looked around for information, and I got an analysis done by you, and I decided to come down to your camp.
Awesome. You know, and I like to bring up size just because size shows what you're working with. You know, we know bigger guys is a little bit easier for them to throw hard. You know, shorter guys, stockier guys, a little bit more challenging. So you're in that stockier frame. So tell them your frame, your size, and what you're working with.
I'm about 5'9.5" to 5'10", and I'm 160 pounds, 165 pounds.
Awesome. Well, good. So you came to that first camp, you know, and what was your impression after that first camp?
Oh, well, I immediately realized how far behind I was athletically, and I was like, I've got a lot of work to do, and I couldn't even do some of the simple lifts. Like, I couldn't squat correctly or do power cleans correctly, so it's like I knew what was ahead of me, and I knew how much work I was going to have to put in if I want to be a high-velocity pitcher.
So what got you, or what motivated you to want to do this? I mean, you like you said, you saw how much work was ahead of you, and it's been 2 years now, and you're still putting that work in. What's motivated you to work so hard and really try to conquer this?
I've just always wanted to be a hard thrower. I mean, ever since I was young, I was a hard thrower when I was young, so I always wanted to keep that up and become a hard thrower, and I just be a great pitcher. And I don't know. I mean, I've just really wanted to be that guy who's the hardest thrower on the team, and it's just never really gone away for some reason. I just always wanted to be that guy.
Well, cool. Well, I know you through years I've seen it. You know, you've had moments where you make big jumps, and then you've had moments where you've kind of slipped back down. What do you think has been the result of those kind of peaks and valleys through your training?
I'm not really sure. Like, some days, I think a lot of it has to do with how well my arm feels and how good my shoulder feels in a certain day. Like, after a workout, I won't be throwing as hard. Like, it kind of reduces my ability to get lots of hip and shoulder separation.
Of course, yeah.
So, yeah. But some days I just feel really fresh, and my legs feel really good. My shoulder feels like it's reacting really well with my lower half, and I just have my ball just jumps. And other days I just, kind of average, maybe 86, and it's just not quite as fast.
Yeah, so I think that's really just the level you're at now is trying to figure out how to, kind of, have bigger peaks and not so low valleys is kind of where you are. And that's common, just you get to a point where you start to max out athletically what your body can do. And then to always be able to step on the mound at that peak level of athleticism is a challenge, a real challenge. So, that is the, once you break through and once you have those big jumps in ball speed, is being able to consistently be there is the next big hurdle. But kind of to go back after that 3X Velocity camp, did you jump back? I mean, did you jump into the program pretty quickly, or did you just kind of take it slowly from there?
Well, I just really, after I went to your camp, I just really focused on matching the form of all the lifts so I could actually do them correctly and not swing the power cleans up my back. And I just really worked in the form before I was doing the program, but at the same time I was really trying to make sure that I was doing everything right. And I was kind of too far away from my strength goals to really be trying to get a lot stronger. I was trying to focus more on just getting all the lifts down.
All right, so you came in, I think in that camp, how hard did you throw in that camp?
In that camp, you had me at 79.81.
Okay, and then when did you finally break 90? What had happened? What was the process from that camp to you getting or touching 90? What did you do? How many cycles of the program did you do, or what was the process?
Well, it took me a while. I just throughout that fall and that spring afterwards, like in the spring 2013. I mean, I just really tried to do as much of the program as I could outside of college. I think what really broke me through the first time was my speed. And my speed really increased down the mound, and I was able to get into a lot more hip and shoulder separation as I was able to line my force vector more. But eventually, I kind of got lazy with that, and I lost my speed. So I kind of had to this time. Last time I hit 90 was because my legs have gotten a lot stronger, and the triple extend wasn't really quite as much like as a speed thing. It seems like.
So it just took you a while to not only develop the athleticism, but to also get the movements down, being able to convert that through all the pitching mechanics that we use.
I think April 2013 or March 2013 is when I really started nailing the med ball drills.
Cool. So, what would you credit? What would you say? Give me two things that were significant in 3X Pitching Velocity program to really helping you get to that 90-mile-an-hour range.
Well, I would say definitely the Olympic lifts and the throwing drills. I think without those two things, I would never have been able to develop the power to throw like upper 80s to 90.
Cool, man. And that's usually what every guy who gets into that range says. They get once they master the Olympic movements, and then they can learn through the med throws how to use it on the mound. That combination usually gives them a good jump. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet, dude. Well, good. Well, like I said, we're still not satisfied. We'd like to see you be a consistent 90s guy. I know that's the next level of all this, and we struggled to get there with guys like Eric Mozica, but he's finally gotten there, and it's really great to see him be able to do that. I mean, he can get on and just sit easily 91, 92. And he was a guy who came through a similar time to you, a little bit before you, who's not 82, 83 in camp, and we got him to that 90-mile-an-hour mark, and then the next step was just being consistent. And I mean, if you ask him, he'll probably say 90 was really trying to be consistent. So I know that next phase isn't easy, but that's really what I try to conquer with the level 3 program. Have you gone into the level 3 program?
I've kind of looked through it and done some of the stuff like snatches from it, but I have not like officially started it. I kind of just did level 1 a lot, level 3, but I really need to kind of buckle down and start doing level 3.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I mean, if you ever get a chance, you want to come down here and do it with us, Rick's training, man. I wouldn't charge you, man. I'd be glad to have you down and try to get you there because I'd love to see you do that. So.
Okay, great. I'd love to come down sometime.
Right. That'd be awesome, Gage. Well, good, man. Well, I know you'll stay in touch, and I know you'll see on the forums. You've also been great help on the forums. I really appreciate you reaching out to other guys kind of in that beginning process and keep them motivated, because I know, and you know, that that's probably the hardest part, is staying motivated in the beginning. What kind of advice would you give to those who are at that stage and they're having frustration, you know, and they're just into the program?
I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but just never give up. I mean, you just really got to find what motivates you, and you just got to really stick with that and just remind yourself why you started, and you just got to just never give up, because it will happen at some point. I mean, the results are guaranteed. It's just a matter of how long you stick with it and how long you're willing to push through your threshold.
Right. I think you made a great point, man. I mean, it's hard to say that those results aren't guaranteed, because everyone who has the will and desire to stick through the program, they always either get that 5 or that 10 or even more. And it purely is just will driven. I mean, the program is not rocket science. It's just proving we know where to put the effort. If you just put the effort there and you stay focused on your goals, that you should be able to have a 5 to 10 or more jump, depending on where you came in at.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and sometimes
power clean.
Right, and sometimes that time, some people weren't on, you know, kind of like their eyes were bigger than their stomach. They came in wanting to throw 90. They just didn't really have the will to put in the time that was needed to get them there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, how about one last word? So what one last word you would give to those who, say, haven't even gotten the program yet, or just someone out there who's really wants to kind of live the dream and touch an elite number like 90 miles an hour? And what kind of advice would you give them in their career to kind of help them take that big step?
Well, I mean, you just got to really be ready for whatever's ahead of you. I mean, if it's increasing your power clean 100 pounds, I mean, that's pretty much the only way you're going to go from being a low 80s guy to like a 90 guy. So just be willing to work hard and commit yourself, because it's the amount of people who throw 90. I mean, I've only seen a handful of guys that can be consistently 90 plus. So I mean, it's really rare, and it's not. If everyone is capable of just like easily doing it, then I think everybody would be doing it. So you just got to kind of realize who you are, and then kind of be honest with yourself, and then just work as hard as you can from there.
That's great advice, man. Well, awesome, dude. Well, like I said, love having you on the forums, because I think you can really help these guys kind of, you know, getting their wheels spinning and all this. And like I said, keep in touch, because I want to see you keep going. I want to see you, you know, get to that consistent 90s, you know, because I think you have it in you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and I'm gonna end the interview and stay on the line, okay?
Okay.
We'll end the interview.